So my name is Baraka Kerich. I'm the CFO at Gertrude Children's Hospital, and I'm very honored to be nominated in this 2023 edition of the Top 40 Under 40 Men. My journey actually began in campus. What I'd say my first job, quote unquote, would be an election to become a student representative. I was the student chairman for my university, which was a very interesting job because it's almost political and how you can represent people well. I did that for a year. Thereafter I graduated and joined Deloitte straight out of campus. Just immediately I finished my fourth year, I joined Deloitte. I worked in Deloitte for some 2-3 years until I became an audit senior. Thereafter I left Deloitte and joined Gertrude as a head of audit, where I worked for about a year or so, and thereafter joined finance as acting FM, as a FM, and then thereafter as a chief finance officer. This was by the time I was 29, 30 there, is when I made it to become CFO. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been an interesting journey, but it's mostly been in that field of accounts and finance. Yeah. But my training is that of an actuarial scientist, so it's just an interesting switch from actuarial science to finance. Yeah. It's a very interesting field, healthcare. I never thought I'd find myself in healthcare, but I've grown to really love healthcare, primarily because of the impact that we create. Yeah? We are offering a service, a child is unwell, at the end of it, a child is well. And that makes me really love the field. It's distinctly different from finance, because what you do is you find yourself doing a lot of operational things as well. So as much as you're in finance and you're doing the finance-related things, you become a financial pseudo-doctor of some kind. So you get to understand what the clinicians are doing, what their needs are, what they would require to deliver a good service. And working at Gertrude's primarily has been interesting because of that not-for-profit angle that we do have. It means that our interest has always been in terms of improving healthcare for children. So for me, it's been different because one, I believe in the cause of the hospital, of the work that I do. And number two is that I've also gone to learn to come out of my comfort zone. So I'm a numbers guy, actuarial scientist, finance. But I've gotten to interact with clinicians and healthcare and understand their needs. And on a day-to-day basis, there'll be discussions with guys in theater, guys in the operation side. So it's much more operational than a typical financial markets guy who would be looking at the numbers, the returns, and the EBITDAs and all that. But I must say, for us in healthcare as well, the returns have been just as important. You know, healthcare is a very intricate machine. And it's, of course, we are offering a service, but you must offer it sustainably. So there is no value in offering a service unsustainably, because at the end of the day, you'll not be able to expand or create depth in the service that you offer. So everything we do must be priced properly, but also we must ultimately look at the ultimate goal, which is the impact for the children. Yeah. I'm surprised really, because I never thought people would reach out to me. But I'm glad all the same, because it means that when you're consistently good at, when you put consistent effort at what you do, then it gets recognized. And I think for the young guys out there, it means that you just keep working at what you do, and when the opportunity presents itself, then it matches up at the right time. So for me, I think it's just for the young guys out there to think about that, and also to note that consistent work sometimes is recognized, and that's a good thing. In terms of my leadership style, I maintain a very open door leadership policy. I am a firm believer in systems. I work in a space that we do most of finance, but we also do a lot of systems. I believe that when everything talks to each other correctly, you get a good result. So for me, perhaps it's that focus on systems, the kind of systems we've deployed here at Gertrude's, where everything is talking to everything else, and ultimately talking to the finances, that then improves the working environment for the clinicians, for the finance team, and ultimately for the hospital. That may have resulted in this, and that's a good thing that I do appreciate. Yeah. So number one is I contribute through my skill. which is skill in finance, and I do that through the volunteerships that we do in terms of reviewing the finances of other hospitals. A good example is the hospital in Sololo in Marsabit County that I was referring to. That's something that I'm very passionate about. Number two is I think it's more on the personal side in terms of the youth sponsorships that I do in my local church. I believe that I think has a way of imparting onto the younger generation some different perspective. Yeah, and that I think would be the two main areas that I would think so. But it would largely just be the volunteerships and the work I do with my local church. Yeah.